What's up, guys? I'm Josh.
I'm Bria.
I'm Marissa.
And I'm Rendrell.
And welcome to Let's Plays Animes.
The channel where we cover
anime. I don't have any anime on. I'm sorry. Oh, anime, animations, and video games.
But we ain't here for all that today.
Not today.
We here for the My Hero Academia 2 Heroes movie. That movie was a lituation situation.
it was
So
Rose definitely 5/5.
Boy.
10/10.
Beyond lit.
The
Rotten
last-
Tomatoes at 100% right now.
The last 15 minutes, I could not close my eyes, bruh.
Great.
Like, the animation quality, like,
Was
boy.
out of this world.
On point.
Then they played like little replays from like Midoriya versus Todoroki, and like just seeing all that on like a big screen was insane. Like even the Midoriya crying scene,
Which makes me
bruh.
think of something. Were you thinking I've seen better when you saw that fight at the end?
Most definitely seen better.
Really?
Nah,
Still?
nah.
Even after that, there's no way.
No,
that you
legit.
could.
It was.
It wasn't better than Midoriya and
most definitely
Todoroki.
better than- I don't know, man. But it was no.
It was
good.
longer.
It was
It
good.
was longer.
It was good. I mean, it's a movie. The production
No,
is
but
different.
the fight, and then you
Right.
had
No, I'm saying that it was good.
Midoriya and All Might, like
That's crazy. The nigga was
Oh.
running side by side, bro.
Also, past this point, spoiler if you haven't seen the movie. If you haven't seen the movie, go watch the movie. Then
Right,
come
I
back.
think we just spoiled
Yeah.
something too.
No,
Y'all
not
already
really.
screwed.
We didn't really spoil anything.
What you doing here?
We didn't
Yeah.
talk. We didn't
Haven't
really say
watched it.
anything.
Yeah, watch it first.
I just put it
Come
like
back
a
later. Pause
spoiler alert,
At the
but
beginning, yeah.
at the very
Like, we
beginning.
didn't
But,
really spoil anything.
but yeah, that was crazy because like, boy, when Midoriya and All Might hit that double detour, I said,
I know. And
My eyes
so
were like-
pretty with the lights and everything.
Yes, it looked like freaking what's it called? The Northern Lights, like we're behind them
Yeah,
while they like
man.
sped through everything. Like it was so beautiful.
maybe hella sad that I only saw it one time in theaters. Like I
Right.
feel like that
Yeah.
deserves a rerun,
I
like a
do
second
wanna
No,
see
go.
most deaf.
Like
I love the way
boy.
they revealed the classmates. Like everyone slowly started
That was
popping
funny.
up.
Yeah.
But you know what's crazy about that when they were revealing the characters? Oh my God, you're Echo! Oh my God,
Yeah.
you're
People love those
Bruh.
two.
The
Like,
theater
like,
was
they
like
legit
clapping.
think-
Yeah.
They
And
legit
applauding.
celebrated like these are real life people.
Hell
Yeah.
I did
Like we're
too,
like
shit.
actors,
I know,
like
me
you
too.
can literally see.
Like, But like their energy made you feed off of their energy, and then you got even more excited than you'd
I mean,
normally be.
we culture boy.
Yeah.
That shit was, but that shit was lit though.
And there were
Like,
people with
Yeah, there's like a whole
Anime-
group of
anime
girls.
fanbase is so
Oh
cool.
my God, Bay in this shit. Where Bay at?
Bruh, I'm sad that
Oh
why is
my
Rebecca
God.
not on this shirt or not Rebecca? Why do I want to?
Rebecca.
I always want to.
Rebecca
I always want to
Black?
call her Rebecca because she
Who's
looks like
Rebecca?
she's the One Piece character. She looks just like Melissa's character.
I'm dead. I
I
almost said Marissa.
Yeah, I know it's hard to look at Marissa and not say.
Everyone
Fucking up.
literally, I told people my name's Marissa, and they're like, Melissa, okay.
But yeah, Melissa was new bae in this
She
movie.
was really
nah,
cool.
she was really bae when she went to the party too. Ooh.
I
She
liked
did.
her
She looked
character
good.
a
But now
lot.
she was hella
too.
thick in like 2 sections when fucking All Might lifted her ass, bro, was thick, bro.
I'm dead.
It was
Oh, yeah,
thick
when he
as
lifted her
hell.
up,
But
she
then
was-
when he drop her back down, they literally show a shot of her ass. I'm
Bruh.
like, whoa.
That moment was almost awkward. Like
It was
just me
awkward.
For
and
you.
It was awkward.
It was. No, it was kind of awkward, though,
Uncle-
because, no, only
Uncle
because...
Mike,
Flame.
Uncle Mike.
Dead.
Because she was saying Uncle Mike, but here they are looking like they're having almost an intimate
Oh,
moment.
Bruh.
I know.
Nothing-
Yeah, it was weird.
Yes.
Nothing beats the
Got me
waifu
off
moment
guard.
of when Momo was making ammo from her boobs. She was literally like, I got you. I got you. Here we go.
Oh, when
I
she had
got
her
you.
shirt-
Silicone.
When she
Yeah.
had her shirt
Yeah,
open and
bro,
she
I
was
said-
like shooting things out of her
Yeah,
boobs.
I said she literally was like explosive.
Right.
I was like, what?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that she had a limit, but she got real tired.
It had to be.
After-
That makes sense.
I mean, I thought that she was kind of like unlimited. Fucking Todoroki's ice apparently doesn't have a limit. Man was like
I
using the
swear.
ice so much to save people during the
perfect.
movie.
He's
He was
perfect.
using his fire.
Ice.
I was so happy.
Yeah, I
for
like
him.
that they
I was
actually
so
made like a
happy.
little emotional moment about that. Like,
Yeah.
and then Midoriya was like, Todoroki's using his fire, but watch this!
Right.
Like,
Yes.
It wasn't too much. It wasn't
The
too
boy.
It was
much.
like, Totoro uses fire to save me. Oh my goodness. You
And
could have
the
used
fact
ice, but fire? Oh
The
my
fact
Boy.
that he was using his fire was amazing.
No,
I
it was
wasn't
awesome.
sure. In the
I was
movie, I was
happy
like,
he
is he
did.
gonna use it? Is he gonna
Oh,
Boy, I know
yeah,
that
me
man
too.
Midoriya, like, right after that, when he was like, Detroit smashed the wall, looked over at Todoroki. Yeah, this could have been our fight if I wasn't breaking my bones.
But for real though, like,
But
Bakugo on sight, bro. Every time you see Deku, always want to get
he's
up in this
pissed.
dude's
Oh,
face.
yeah.
He's always mad.
I was surprised that Deku lost to him. Like, Full Cow just seems so broke. But he still got 1 second after Midoriya.
And he was still
Or, sorry.
before.
He wants to blow.
Yeah, 1 second before Midoriya using the...
Always number one. Bay is always
Yeah,
number
because Bakugo 15
Actually,
seconds.
Todoroki ended up getting number 1.
Oh.
But Bakugo was
That's
what,
bait too.
15 seconds.
He cheated.
And Midoriya was 16 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Todoroki was 14 seconds.
Damn.
But he cheated. He froze every robot without moving, so he's a cheater.
He's
You have to go destroy them by hand.
He's just really strong.
Mr. Hand-to-hand combat.
He's just
I-
really strong.
Ida was, doing some stuff with Reciprocal Burst, too. I saw him
Yes.
kicking open buildings and shit. I said, what?
Oh, that was cool.
The doors and
They-
shit.
Yeah, when they had...
Yeah.
Because he was
When they
using
had the
himself
combo.
to, like, project himself, and he was
Boy.
like flinging.
No, but he
was
lit
like,
with the kicks.
yeah.
I still haven't
Yeah.
seen him punch anybody yet, but the kicks are
Him and
Right.
Todoroki worked well together. I was surprised.
Yeah, when they were like, he was like,
wow.
Todoroki is like, ice, keep the door open.
Oh,
Bah! I was like,
The
dang.
teamwork in
But
this movie was insane.
Kirishima too, though.
It was.
Yeah,
And, like-
him too.
Every character had like a telepathy
My
quirk
nigga-
in this
It's
fucking
okay,
movie.
it's
They were like,
okay.
My nigga,
I'm the same
my
now.
nigga was like stuck against the wall, and Bakugo was like, "Release your quirk, nigga." He was like, "Oh, yeah, you right.
I mean,
you right,
like-
you right."
Oh,
the
yeah, that
funny
was
thing
funny.
about that is like, he like probably didn't release. I wouldn't have released it either because like I could die. These niggas
Yeah.
are savage. They just punched me into a hole, and then Baku was like, "Thank you." Like, bruh, you could have got like aced if it wasn't for me. Because he like moved Bakugo out of the way when he was about to get punched by that huge dude, and then he just took the blast and
He
went to
said,
the
"I got you,
ball.
fam."
And then
You know, yeah, I like Kirishima.
Bakugo was
in
like,
this movie.
"Let me not
Me
get hit."
too.
Because
For the
Red
rest.
Riot.
he's never really in the, like, I don't know,
light.
limelight.
Yeah.
I
But-
feel like they chose the characters to use like for based off of like a Japanese popularity poll or something.
Maybe,
Because
yeah.
like they chose like Jiro. She has to be
Yeah.
like one of a popular character
See,
or
I
something.
thought that was
Choose
weird,
life.
too.
Now, all the other students were just chilling. Like it was
Yeah.
nighttime. They showed Tokoyami. I was like,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah, he about to be in
nothing,
this mix. Nope.
nothing.
I'm surprised.
Nope.
He wasn't
Me
in
too.
it.
I
I'm
thought he was more
surprised.
popular.
And then all the other villains were, or all the
Having
other
sleepover
like students were
parties.
chilling. Yeah,
Oh.
playing Uno.
No.
Oh.
Nigga was like, look, first of all, they had sleepover playing Uno. Then two niggas were having a tea party, bitch. They were just chilling.
The two
Where? In
guys?
the cafe?
The tape guys, Sero
In the
and
cafe?
Oh, and
other
it was
guy.
that reminds me. It was funny when they showed them doing rock paper scissors to
And
the
then
side of
Homegirl-
the girl.
and Homegirl was
The
holding-
invisible girl, they're like, what?
she low key could have just been like, yeah, I was holding Rock. But,
Yeah.
Like,
you know,
she had like a fucking sign.
but
She
she's
had
like,
a
I'm
whole sign.
holding Rock, but I'm to hold the sign.
Right.
I need to hold Rock.
Yeah,
Like
like
this proves that I picked Rock and Scissors at the same time. I just win.
What's the other guy? Like the steel guy or whatever. What's
The steel
the
guy?
steel.
Oh,
He wasn't there,
Tetsu
though, was
Tetsu.
Yeah,
He wasn't there.
Oh.
He's not a class A.
He's
Yeah,
not
he's not
class A,
class
though.
A. He's from the other class.
He's not a class A.
Maria.
He's
I
not
matched
real.
him with
Maria,
Kirishima.
Get with the program.
Yeah, and Kirishima with Bakugo
I'm
now.
just kidding.
No.
He's everybody. I'm sorry, guys.
Who is Kirishima? I know Red Riot.
Red Riot.
Yeah, you're
I don't
right.
know
Red
Kirishima.
right.
Okay,
You know what I'm saying?
he upgraded to Red Riot. He earned that name in this movie. He did good.
He did.
Boy, that
He was cool.
freaking full gauntlet put in hella work for Deku.
Yeah.
I said that
Yeah.
man was smashing left and right. Boy, that scene where like the guy with the sword arms knocked him off the cliff. So 1 second later, bah, in the face. I said, "What
Wait, but
the?"
can we talk about his instincts? When that
Yeah.
one guy was coming for
Slick.
Melissa, I didn't
Melissa
know.
was like, they could protect Melissa.
They didn't give no chance to see what was happening. Just out of nowhere, he was grabbing her, and they were like rolling. And I was like, "Dang, someone's attacking them." My brain like processed it a few seconds after what was happening.
Bruh,
love how
my
they-
brain like processed it later in that moment too because I saw him get knocked off and do like that's the thing with My Hero, they don't do like a lot of cliche anime tropes. So it's like he got knocked off and he was hanging on the edge and I thought dude with the sword was just gonna go at his arms and make him fall. But then like literally like 1 second later Melissa was like, "Let go," and then he was like, "Bop!" Like
Yeah.
5 seconds later,
First of
I was
all,
like, "What the?"
The
hell?
real MVP is Melissa. She can take hella
Hell
hits.
yeah.
That's her
Man.
quirk.
And she's quirkless. She's a basic ass human taking
No, but
these-
her device
It's
helps too.
good.
Like,
No,
that
she didn't
shit-
have no device.
No, she didn't have nothing.
She didn't have shit.
She-
No, I mean the
she
one
was-
she made.
Yeah, that was on
I'm
Deku.
just saying, I'm
That's
just
what I'm
saying
saying.
that.
It helped the movie. Like,
Oh no,
That's
she
another
he's
reason
just
she's
talking
the
about
goat.
like her taking hits, like when she was rolling.
Yeah.
no,
And,
I'm
like-
saying how she's the goat. Like,
Oh yeah, she is the
Yeah.
goat.
yeah.
No, she is
She
the
is.
goat though with that gauntlet. And
Yeah,
first
she
of
held
all,
Thick goat.
She was holding up her side of everything for sure. Because
Okay.
can you imagine being a normal person with
she
no
took
power?
off her heels.
Boy.
Well, she took off her.
Oh
because
yeah,
right
hit them
before that,
stairs. She hit
right
them
before that, I
stairs.
saw them when we were like 200 flights of stairs. I was like, dang. In
Yeah,
heels?
first of all, I was like, oh, hell no.
I was like, in heels too? What? And then
With
I saw her
heels,
throw
without
them
heels,
off.
sneakers,
But
Air
see,
Force,
that's
what? Nah.
realistic too, because a lot
That's
of
crazy.
animes are just like, I mean, they're in uniform. They're in the uniform for that scene, and that's like it. But the fact that she like threw off her heels, she's like, nah, let's go.
She also
yeah.
proved that she was like tough because Uraraka was like, "Hey fam, you need me to use
Mhm.
my
She
quirk?"
was
She
like,
like, "Nah, I'm good. Let's
Yeah.
keep going." I said, "Okay."
It's cool because she's probably like has a pride in her whole life about being
I
quirkless.
love
She doesn't
that.
want to rely on the quirks at all
I-
because like she's weaker, you know.
I love that because like Deku was getting so fucking emotional, and then Homegirl was like, "What the fuck is your problem?"
Mhm.
Because like even though I'm quirkless, I can still do a lot, especially my dad being a scientist.
Mhm.
I think that helps Deku realize like a path that he could have chosen
Yeah.
Yeah.
to take instead of being like, "Okay, I'm never gonna be." I mean, to be fair, he had to deal with Bakugo his whole childhood, and he also didn't have a dad there.
Mhm.
That was
Yeah.
like the goat. So they lived very different childhoods, and it shows that even though you're quirkless, like depending on your surroundings, like it
Hero
can
help
be,
me
it
hero.
can really
I love how
depend.
passionate she was about it, like about being
Yeah.
a hero and doing what's right, saving people. She's like, I just want to help. Like,
Yeah.
Boy, we talking about the goat. My
That
boy
is-
Mineta was like, harem.
Oh,
I'm tired. Harem.
That was so funny.
Harem. I said, this boy was in it for the
Al-
harem. I said,
also for some coochie,
Yeah.
bitch. Shit.
I said, boy.
That was so funny. If he's so easy to convince. If you tell him he's gonna
Oh
have a
my
bunch
God.
of
I
ladies
fucks
on
with
him,
Mineta.
he's
bruh.
funny.
I did
And
fuck
that's
with him
funny
in
as
the
hell.
movie. I
His
did a
his
lot
face
more.
is always
It
killing.
was funny because as soon as they showed up in the movie, everybody started laughing because it's Mineta. Like he
Yeah.
just makes you laugh. As soon as you see him, you're like, this guy.
I feel like he's one of the most popular characters, low key.
Huh.
He's one of the most popular characters, low key.
I
It's
can
probably
see.
why he
Oh,
got like
yeah.
a
These characters, because I've been to a lot of anime movies and theaters, and I never seen anybody reacting to these characters like they do.
Yeah.
Every character had a fucking, oh my god, yeah, what's up?
Laughing.
When you go to Resurrector of F and shit, they were like, okay, cool, that's what's up, Goku in the mix. But legit, there was orgasm every character.
I mean, literally, like, it just, like, brought, like, a kind of crazy different mood. Because it made, like, even, like, us, we're used to, like, American films. So we were like, okay, we need to be silent, like, during the movie. But there's, like, some times where, like, I even, like, looked at Bria where we're like, yeah! And then, like, we're like,
We were
and then, like,
yelling,
when we
like-
did that, like, everyone else would cheer. So we're like,
Right.
oh, this is okay.
Everybody
This is okay,
was
alright.
into
Yeah,
it.
nothing beats,
That was so
Yeah.
great.
nothing
That
beats
was
a
good.
movie
I like the
experience.
audience.
A movie theater experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there are certain movies that you have to see in theaters
People
to get
were-
the full experience. of
Yeah.
it.
People
You
were
have-
hesitant to like show their
Yeah.
hurrahs and like they were like, I don't want to like interrupt. It's like,
But-
nigga,
But
no,
I feel like there was that
go
one,
ahead.
like, cosplay squad. They were just, like,
They
in
were
it to
going
win.
at
Like,
it.
they didn't
Ones
care.
with the wigs and stuff.
Yeah.
And then after the movie, there was like some people down at the front of the screen, and they were doing the All Might laugh.
Oh,
That
shut
was
your
so-
mouth
Oh,
down.
no. The lady
Shut
that
your
said she
mouth.
broke the
That was-
chair.
Right. That was the funniest part when we walked
that
past
was
her.
so
She said the movie was so
So
good.
good.
I
I
think I broke
broke
the
the
chair.
chair.
I said, "Damn, you think you paying?"
But it
Or
was so great
Like, it
because
was.
like this, I don't know, seeing everybody's reactions, feeling their reactions during the movie, then like talking to everybody because we talked to some people afterwards and stuff. It was like a really great community to
It
watch.
was great
the movie in.
energy.
It was
Yeah,
really
it was
great.
really great energy. Everybody was like on the same page, really excited. Didn't give a f. And did we talk about the cartoon guy yet? The guy that said
oh
cartoon?
no, yeah.
Fuck
Like,
that.
so I went up to the kiosk or the Ticketmaster guy, and then he's like, "What movie do you want to see?" And then like instantly before I respond, he like looks down at my shirt because I wore this shirt to the premiere or whatever, or the movie. And then he's like, "Yeah, if you want to see that cartoon, it's sold out." And I was like, "Actually, we already got like we already bought." And he was like, "Oh,
First
you
of all.
already bought tickets? You can just go into the door to the left." And I'm just like, "Okay, no have fun, no nothing. All right,
No.
you're clearly an anime hater."
We were like, the amount of disrespect that you called this a
That
cartoon.
cartoon.
Right.
Like, what are you trying to say? What do you?
Hey,
what are
that
you trying
cartoon
to
is
say?
sold out.
It's so
How many movies
Yeah.
you see sold out? I didn't even
that says
see.
something about
Like
that
I didn't even
cartoon.
see like a week later, like some Infinity War like some Infinity War theaters were not sold out
Yeah.
a week after the movie, because like once everyone sees it, like they probably have the same people hitting the movie times all week.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'm gonna just take off this week. I'm Midoriya today. We going to see this movie. I'm Todoroki today. We going to see this movie. Okay, I'm Bakugo today. Like girl was in an All Might suit. That All Might, they had a girl in an All Might suit. Who's a cosplayer? I took a picture of them. I'll probably put their pictures somewhere.
Onesie?
Yeah, the All Might onesie, and then the guy with the she just telling us.
What?
Cosplayer, bro.
That was crazy. She's legit.
And then the guy was telling me that he made the UA jacket himself.
Yeah.
I was like, he said, yeah, it's real comfortable. I said, I bet it looks comfortable. Let me hold that.
Where can I cop that?
Like, right. I was like, I was about to go up to him. Where do you buy that? He's like, oh, actually, I made it. He's like, scrub. Like, yeah, you gotta make the good things. But all of them were talking to me about how they go to like AWA, MomoCon, Dragon Con. So I'm definitely already in the works to go to MomoCon next year. Hopefully we can all hit MomoCon. That'd be great. It's a great like anime. It's like pretty much the biggest anime video game con in the Southeast. I'm pretty sure. Besides PAX, which PAX is crazy too. I want to go to PAX one day. But PAX is a different story. PAX is hella expensive. I know y'all know.
Anymore.
Right. No, I mean like it's still on the movie technically because it's like convention. Yeah. It happens, so, like anime convention happens there and stuff like that. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But
that was like the weirdest sound.
Right.
I was like, are you okay?
Well, wait a minute.
What sound just came out?
I have a bug bite. No, I'm
trying to think of like, boy, that helmet too.
I really. Oh, what's helmet?
That helmet was broke. The quirk enhancing
that
helmet.
Yeah.
I said I wanted to see like Bakugo with that or like Todoroki or something.
Broke as hell.
That man said, "Yeah, I just became a regular metal bender in Avatar to like I'm an Otsutsuki in Naruto, like planetary devastation." And
his whole swag. First of all, he reminded me of a wrestling dude from WWE, whatever, with the mask and everything, and also he low key reminded me of Dr. Octopus.
Yeah.
Oh,
especially at the
Spider-Man villain.
Especially at the end.
Yeah, he was.
He looked like. I was telling him during the movie. I was like, he looks like Dr. Octopus on freaking steroids.
Something that I definitely did not see coming is the freaking triple, like single, double, triple betrayal to the villain. I said, who's the final villain? I don't even know. He said, yeah, it's this villain. Oh wait, it's the professor. Honestly. Oh wait, it's the professor's assistant. Oh wait, it's this guy again. I said, what the?
Okay, so look, can I go first? First, I knew there was like, bro, I feel like the professor's in it.
Same.
But he did it with good intentions. Then,
yeah, he did.
Then the whole story, when they were talking about, yeah, this is our goal to get this shit back. We use fake villains. I'm like, those are not fake villains. They knocked out your fucking daughter, bitch, with blood everywhere. I'm like, no. That's
the way that they were fighting Bakugo and Todoroki, because I thought back to that while I was watching that part, and I said, they were fighting Bakugo and Todoroki a little too hard. But I did remember at the same time when they were like, tie up the hostages without hurting them. So maybe towards the beginning, they were just doing that to fake the villain, but he was like, oh yeah, we were fake. Fake on being fake? He's like, what do you mean?
But so like after that, I was like, no, those are real villains. But I don't know what's gonna come after that. So then when the professor assistant was like, yeah, my nigga, I ain't gotta get this. And I'm gonna give it to them because these are real ass villains. And fuck you because I put all this work into it and you didn't even step up and trying to keep it. And you didn't give me no type of money.
When they shot them, I was
I said, this a villain. They a villain.
And they showed all the blood and everything. I was like, my hair just got real adult.
So shook.
Like,
it did. So then when it's like, oh yeah, this is your reward, my nigga.
Yeah.
Bro, they had when they had Melissa on the ground and she was like, "Don't hurt my dad," and he was like, "Oh yeah, I forgot. I gotta take out there." I said, I was going insane. I was like, "Go kill her, please."
I was like, "Kill her," because I want that shit, bro. I want that shit. I want the deepest, saddest story because that's a good ass story.
But see, that was crazy though.
I like, but nobody didn't die.
That was crazy because
I thought the professor was gonna die.
I knew it. Honestly, it's kind of like when I saw that the professor was up there, her dad, Melissa's dad, and she was like, "Why is he up here? Did they force him to come up here?" I was thinking in my head, I'm like, I knew it. I'm like,
dude, I was like totally unaware, like because I thought like you know, like, the way that they portrayed him with All Might, like, I don't know if it was just me, but I was, like, completely, like, shook when that happened because I was like, okay, this David Shield guy seems like a really good guy. They definitely told him to take to the front because they could have been like, okay, we're just going to, like, blow up everything. I really did not see the whole, we paid the villains.
I found that very suspicious when Homeboy, he didn't have to say anything. But the professor came out like, yeah, he's my assistant. Oh, okay, you can.
Well, obviously, in like a real situation like that, you wouldn't want your assistant to take the fall for you.
Man,
I mean, I
they
wouldn't.
were using him, but I didn't think he was gonna be. Like,
I mean, I will say that the fat assistant dude, Sam, he seemed sus, but the actual professor didn't seem sus to me at the beginning. I thought that I did think that the guy was gonna turn on him.
I didn't think he was a bad person, but I felt like he was definitely involved for whatever reason with the villains. For some reason, I felt like he would, just because I've seen that setup before, and I'm like, it would be a good movie setup. When I saw it happen, I was like, dang, I'm kind of sad that I was right. But then they smacked me in the face.
Oh, you thought,
yeah, they smacked me in the face
Ankles
so many
broke,
times. And my hero continues to surprise me and be like, you think you got us figured out, but you don't. And so, like the double, triple inception that happened in that whole scene, like, the whole audience was like, what?
Yeah.
What?
That was pretty.
Like, literally, like, even the way that they used all the student combinations in the fights, that shit was insane. They had the Ida Todoroki combo where freaking Todoroki used his ice to jam the door. Ida hopped through there like Energizer Bunny Rabbit, like kick the door. And then they had like Bakugo using like howitzer impact with like a new animation, which was lit because they usually, like, when they do anime movies, they usually take the same animation and just reuse it with a higher quality, which is like great. Like, you know, things like going Super Saiyan and stuff like that. They just take that.
I like how they showed like the three, I guess, strongest characters, and they kind of let them battle besides Midoriya, but they used like Red Riot, and
well, he is a 3. He's in the top 3.
No, but they use like Todoroki, Red Riot, and Bakugo, like, to go fight the bots downstairs. Like, that was cool being able to see all of them work together.
Well, it's like I feel like one classic trope that they did, but it did work out well, is the whole like start at floor 0, we got to reach floor 200 to reach the villain. As we go up, we'll lose people because people are like, I'll be right behind you. And I literally thought that when Todoroki was like, oh, I'll be right behind you, I thought it was going to take him a while. They were up there like the next 20 minutes, like saving Uraraka and stuff like that. Like, when
that was the best. I love that scene.
When the guy, I still don't know what his quirk was. The guy that was fighting Todoroki, that was like, he's hollowing space or something like that. I don't know.
He said hollow.
He said he's not opening up space dimensions, he's hollowing it out, but I still don't know what that means. I just took it as like a pressurized cannon type thing, and like, so he was like a ranged person fighting Todoroki, but then he was like, oh, what is this? And then Bakugo was like, it's my sweat, and then Todoroki was like, fire!
My sweat. But like, I don't know, maybe because they saying hollow, making it really dense, so it just fell down to the floor instead of reaching towards it. I don't know. That's where I got it.
Blade Dude was low key a ninja.
He was
from the Leaf Village.
First of all, y'all see my nigga Sid from Ice Age though?
Oh, that was the guy you were. The guy you
guys.
Oh my god!
That's the hollow guy.
Yes, I was so dead during the movie when he's like, my nigga Sid from Ice Age, and I was like, he looks like Sid. And then when he was fighting,
they were some ugly ass villains.
They were. When I came out, I was like, ew.
And then when dude got swole, fat dude got swole, I said, oh shit.
He reminded me of the character from Street Fighter, the green dude from Street Fighter. The character.
I know what you're talking about.
I'm about to look it up right now.
Look it up. I wasn't a Street Fighter.
Can I say I love how the males protected the females in this movie?
Yes.
Like,
I know.
They really defended them. Like, no matter what. I was like, okay.
They're like, I mean, not that
protect the white
not
food.
like they need it, but like that was cute.
Right.
That was cute. Like my heart melted when Bakugo jumped in, and then Todoroki came in. Like, are you okay? Are you okay? I was like.
Bro, it's
the green guy right there.
Oh, he did look like him. That's like
but that's exactly
a purple version of him.
Boy, like, it was so funny when they were deciding to go fight him. Midoriya's like, I want to fight. And then Uraraka, they actually had a lot of parallels, which is something that I wanted to talk about. They had a lot of parallels to actual moments from the anime. So, like, even when, Deku makes a decision, Deku's like, I want to fight, and Uraraka's like, let's go. Like, we do this. That was just like how she pushed them forward in the cavalry battle and was like, Deku, let's go! And then he's like, what? And then he's like, all right, one for all time.
Let's go.
And, like, she kind of, like, that just shows that she kind of inspires him to, like, kind of do the same action. It's just funny how everyone was leaping in after Midoriya leaped in, and then Mineta was like, all right, I get it. I'm gonna go in, okay?
I know.
He's
that
like
was so
crying.
funny.
I was like,
I guess I have to go now.
And then I saw my boy Kaminari. Kaminari used 2 million volts instead of 1.3.
Yeah.
I said, okay, you gotta upgrade
You
low
know
key.
you're gonna be like, oh.
And then I thought he had it. I thought he had it.
That was funny when he was
Oh,
carrying it. Yeah, Ida was carrying him on his
so
back.
confidently.
Oh yeah, 1 million ain't working for you.
Oh, yeah,
How about
but
2?
What'd you say? What'd you say that one drunk friend the whole time?
I'm
when
like,
he was
that's that
carrying him
one
around?
drunk friend.
He did.
Bro.
He looked like that on his
Oh
back.
my
That
God.
was funny.
The funny thing is when they got to that one floor, I think it was like floor 80 or something like that.
Yeah,
that had like
80.
the servers, and then like he was like retarded mode by that time, and so then the robots started coming out, and they all did this, but like Kaminari was like,
Yeah.
like with his retarded
Yeah.
mode. And so I was like, what the
That
hell?
was-
I get respect for the earphone jacker. I'm like, man,
Yeah.
I didn't. I was.
Yeah.
She was like my
Props.
low.
Props to
She
her.
was like the
Yeah.
low of all
The way
the.
she
I'm
took out
surprised
that
she
camera, she was like, bow.
Yeah, she just like
Yeah.
smacked the camera because they were like, "Oh, you got
She turned around.
sight
She's
on the."
like, no, she didn't whip her head back and forth. She's like,
Yeah.
Which I'm like really surprised that she didn't use her earphone jack sonic
to Sonic Wave and shit.
projection
Yeah.
type thing. That seems like it would have came in super handy against those robots.
Especially the robot. They could have been like disoriented or something.
But honestly, this entire movie reminded me like the structure, the setup, everything that they had going on literally reminded me of LaRue City from Pokemon. If you guys have ever seen like the Rayquaza and Deoxys movie from Pokemon, is basically like Ash and them are like set in a futuristic city. Everything is like robots and stuff like that. The robot like system ends up getting taken over, and then the robots start doing all this stuff to like hurt humans and all this stuff. I know if you guys have seen it, it's a pretty old Pokemon movie, so I don't know, but it literally gave me that exact vibe, like from the beginning to almost the end, except for like Ash Ketchum doesn't use one for all, like punch stuff and double destroy smash and.
But can we talk about that though? Like the gauntlet. I'm kind of
So the gauntlet was like
because like reason why I'm saying that he used full everything 100% because when he first used it, he said, "All right, they start off with 5%."
well, yeah.
And
Every
he
time
used
he
it-
used actual Detroit Smash, that was 100%. But it was weird because he shouldn't have been running with 100% because he didn't have full gauntlet on his legs or anything. Like,
So you think that the gauntlet is only working for
yeah,
that
it was
side?
only for his arm.
Yeah.
Like when if you counted it, like
Wait it to get-
Melissa was like, oh, it can hold All Might's full power 3 times. So then he was like Detroit Smash when he was holding Melissa, and then he was like Detroit Smash when he went up to the metal guy, and then he was like double Detroit Smash, and then the gauntlet broke. So it was like 3 times that he actually used it. And I actually thought his arm was gonna break from that. Like when they were doing the final thing, and then the thing broke.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh,
Me
Midoriya,
too.
your arm about to break."
Me
No,
too.
I
my
didn't
boy.
know that the gauntlet was gonna break. Like, yeah,
I thought it was all gonna
Yeah,
break.
bro.
I thought
Yeah.
it was done.
Everything.
Yeah.
Him, the gauntlet.
Because that was an impressive moment of power.
It
That was
was.
crazy.
Huge.
My boy All Might said when he was flying in. I said,
That
"What?"
was funny. All Might was like, because
That was great.
Midoriya looks like he's putting his absolutely all
Yeah,
into
like
it.
he
And
said,
All Might's
"Boy."
like, nah, I'm a pro.
But
Well,
no,
when
All Might
when
did
freaking
that.
All Might scaled the whole building in one jump, when like
Yeah,
when he was like, "Give him back,
Oh.
give him back," he's like,
when he destroyed
I
the
said,
helicopter,
damn.
no worry, young Midoriya.
and then he just came down
I'm
with
here.
with the professor in his hand. I said,
That's lit.
"Dang, All Might."
And I thought that was gonna be
Whoa.
it. I thought that was gonna be it, but then it's like, nah, I stole Professor motherfucking headband. Now look at this shit. I got power that I didn't even know I had, man. That shit
Like
crazy.
talking about how graphic it was, I know Marissa brought that up for like a small point. Like after the point where the professor was bleeding, they made sure to know that that man was losing hella blood. I don't even know how that man is still alive. Once he got to the helicopter, they like pushed him down and like he hit the wall and there was blood everywhere. I said,
Red.
"What?"
And when he got shot again, he said, take a nap.
And then they were
Yeah.
holding him in the metal thing the whole fight, and this man was still
He was like
bleeding.
this.
I
No,
swear he
ain't
got
nobody
shot,
close
like
to.
3 times.
He
Like,
got
oh,
shot
not
once.
that-
Yeah,
really?
yeah, he got once.
It
It
was
shot
more
once in
than
the
once.
shoulder.
He shot at twice. He got shot trying to save Professor.
Down
or
at
the
in the
assistant.
building. Then he
In the
got
building.
shot. In
Then
the
he got shot
helicopter.
again in the helicopter. Okay, he said, go take a nap. He shot him again, bro.
Yeah.
No. He didn't shoot him. He hit him. He like pistol whipped him.
I swear he got shot.
Yeah, he
Oh,
pistol
he
whipped
did
him in the head.
pistol- he
Yeah,
did
because
pistol
he
whip
was
him
like,
in
go
the
to
second
sleep,
half.
and then he was like,
I, thought he
I
shot
remember that.
him.
I thought he got
Nah,
shot
because he
more
shot
than
him in the shoulder. Or sorry, he shot him in like I think the bullet went like from like in the back because he was like this.
Yeah.
When he was trying to protect, so I think it went through his back and like into his leg because his leg was bleeding and his shoulder was bleeding.
Shot him again
I swear I thought he got shot twice. Even not in the helicopter. I thought
Yeah, that was funny as hell though. That man Sam thought he was about to get a reward. He said, "I got your reward."
I know.
Wow,
Right?
I really didn't expect him to shoot it. Like to me, like My Hero Academia is like a kiddie like ish anime with like blood and stuff. So I was just like,
oh.
Unwarranted savagery. What?
That reminds me, then All Might being like, shit.
Yeah! Man said that twice.
He said, don't move, or we're gonna be killing these hostages.
He said, sheesh.
I felt bad laughing the second time he said it because it was such a serious situation. And I was like one of the only ones to laugh. I didn't hear anybody else. I was like, oh. But it was just funny because he's like, shit.
And that was it. Like, that was all he said. It was just shit.
Yeah, it was so funny and it sounded so funny.
It was weird seeing guns used so much.
Yeah, I was like, they brought in the guns. Like,
guns.
Because those are normal people. They don't need all that quirk.
They like, fuck a quirk. Like, I'll shoot you.
It said 100, maybe like 90% chance that your quirk can't counter this.
Yeah.
Like, you got a swole quirk or not? Like,
and that's interesting because to see the combination of weapons brought into that because like even when Midoriya was like, all right, I'm just gonna come at you with my quirk, and then he like pulled out his gun and was like,
right.
Yeah, all
and Midoriya stopped, and it's like when a quirk faces like weaponry. I never really thought about that.
He said that, man, it sucks to be a hero because I literally did little, you know what I'm saying, at all for you to stop and free. Because he just like, come at me.
He's like, yeah, because there's so much.
He just like, oh, this man's swole. He getting close to me. Yeah, I'll shoot the professor.
Yeah, I'll shoot the professor.
That, don't you move, son.
Like,
I'll shoot him right now. Like,
but let's talk about when fucking All Might get really hurt and fucking Midoriya felt this shit.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yes, I forgot about that.
I think that was like something spoilerish that has to do with season 3 because he touched All Might's scar and All Might went.
Really injured him.
It actually reminded me of the Naruto Sasuke thing when they died and they were both like. And then one was like.
And I thought
it was going to
cripple Midoriya for the rest of the time.
Which
Luckily
makes sense because like.
But that was crazy. I was like.
It makes sense that he felt fucking All Might pain like that because it's one for all you pass it down.
I thought All Might was about to be
in a way.
I think it was having to do with because he was saying that basically the guy gave him an extra quirk.
Yeah.
That the him getting swole, that was a completely different quirk from the metal thing.
Yeah.
And he was like, this quirk, and he was like, yeah, that man called me. And so he was like, you know, when he heard that we were going to be fighting All Might, he gave me a little extra help because he wanted to see the look on your face, something. So definitely that's something that we'll get into in season 3. Like, I don't really know about that because I haven't seen in depth in season 3 at all. So that'll be completely fresh for me. But
only one thing, just nitpicking about the movie, it's just the power level and the injuries and stuff. It's hard to gauge. It's just anime, you know what I'm saying? Because literally All Might lasted so long in that state.
That's the only thing that it was lit, but I agree. I do agree with that.
I mean, I think he was pushing himself, which lowers his time limit.
Number 2 is just like I feel like he got really demolished, especially hit him in that weak ass spot. I feel like that should have just somewhat crippled him, but it didn't. But he still fight like nothing really happened.
I think he was just pushing himself.
That's just my thing, you know.
How beautiful it was. Like, did we already
discuss the shining setting, lights and the double Detroit smash.
I was amazed seeing it in theaters.
Yes, that helped on the big screen.
You wouldn't think like anime's that crazy. Beautiful
I didn't.
watch,
something
but,
that I didn't really get was the Todoroki like hot fan thing. When he was like, Bakugo would point the fan towards Midoriya when they were trying to save him. He was flying through the air. And then Todoroki shot his fire through a fan. Yeah. And it created a hot air. But I was like, how does that save him? I didn't like understand anything besides it just pushed him a little bit.
Maybe it was kind of a weird translation also could have been.
No, because he used a hot air inside the fucking fan, which produces more, I guess, wind to push them towards the door.
I think they were trying to get to the door.
Yeah.
I'm really interested to see the movie in dub now to see how they portrayed everything. Because they usually do a very good job of like portraying what's actually going on. Also hearing Melissa's English dub voice, I'm trying to hear that.
I'd be so dead if it was ugly.
I'm trying to hear Minetta's English dub voice. Harem. Because they probably changed the word harem to something else.
Yeah, I wonder what they changed it to. I know.
Girls.
Boobies.
That's so funny.
Kisses. But that was funny when All Might got all the kisses in the beginning from all the fangirls.
When they recognized
he was like, you know what I'm saying? I begin
low
key. Grants began to use that.
That was funny when he picked up
that was a good
freaking Melissa, and then Midori was like, "Oh, is this the old friend? Is that her quirk?" I was like, "An aging quirk? That'll be broken as hell, boy." Like I just look young forever. That's my quirk. I mean, I guess that's a useless quirk in of itself. You can't really fight. You're still vulnerable to everything.
But again, to go back to your comment way back in one of these episodes, it's like, how did they see Midoriya power and just instantly compare it to All Might?
I don't get that either.
Because like even Melissa was like,
he just said a power type.
It's All Might, so here you go. Like how?
Well, because I think no one has a quirk quite like that, or even a power quite like that.
I mean, we've seen people be really strong though.
Yeah, but not like that.
I feel like he kind of has the same demeanor. In a way, they kind of see, like, All Might's demeanor in him, but I think that kind of gauges them to look at him the way that they do, first off.
Cause, like, okay.
But I could maybe understand, because if nobody has, like she said, his explosive power was through the roof, and that's what shocked her initially. So I feel like if you see somebody, if you're so used to, you know, All Might's power, and, like, how it looks and how he moves, you can notice that Midoriya is being trained to move the same way and handle his power the same way. Yeah. So I think it's in his movements and how he exerts his power.
But do you see All Might lightning be around him like that? No,
I think everyone would have a different form.
The way he like runs really
but
fast
I don't think,
too.
But it's not like she went like, wow, that's exactly like All Might. But it's like,
well, she noticed that after he was using full cow to do the little robot exam, which I don't think off of that. Maybe if he was like punched the Detroit Smash, and because he literally screamed out Detroit Smash at that point. This nigga is All Might. Like this man copying the same attacks, everything. Like, but I do like how they have like a lot of comparisons, like between David's shield, Melissa's shield, like to be the surpassing. And then they had hella moments where like Deku was doing the same thing as All Might, like that one moment where they were running behind each other. I said, "Oh, let's go!" And they had like Midoriya running right behind All Might, and then at the end, the whole picture that he was looking at the whole time of like All Might doing this and his like Silver Age costume or something like that. Like Midoriya was like that at the end, and he was like, that's when I realized he was like, you gave him his quirk, didn't you? Like he didn't really know what happened, but he knew. You know,
so
what
like
I mean?
In a way, I guess. Same with fucking All Might, just pushing himself. Deku pushed himself to a point where he's improving during the fight and got caught up with All Might's speed. You know what I'm saying? That could easily happen. Yeah. At 5%. Maybe he's not at 5% no more. Maybe he's at a different percentage.
I mean, there's a
or maybe he was at 5% because so when we saw him moving at 5% and he went to go fight like the robots for the exam, he was like. So, like, literally, he probably was at 5%, but that would make a lot more sense because you guys were talking about All Might holding out so long. Probably All Might was weakened to a point down where he was using One for All the same level as Midoriya. Rather than using his top, because I feel like his top, like, he could have smacked that villain so quick. Like, the whole, like, when he's in USJ, and the villains were like, is that All Might? And the next, like...
Bro, if he never had that injury... Bro, easily. Yeah.
Like...
I feel like they did a little bit. I mean, that is definitely understandable, and I feel like that is a good explanation. Yeah. But I also feel like just for that fight, I mean, it was definitely a, what's the word I'm looking for? A satisfying fight for all the major fans of My Hero. So I feel like they did push limits a little bit when it comes to both their power and what they could do at that moment. Maybe not Midoriya on Midoriya's side. I feel like that was a lot of adrenaline and everything for him. But for All Might, like how we were talking about, he took some serious, serious blows. And he had already been in his form for a while, fighting the way he was fighting. I think it would have been more realistic that he would have sat out earlier or got knocked out earlier. But, and of course he was pushing himself. And we've seen him push himself to crazy limits before. But I feel like for this fight especially, that was one thing where I was like, you're pushing him a little farther than he can go right now before this fight.
Well, I mean, most of the movie he was just sitting still. In that rap thing, and he was just trying to keep his form because he was like, I know that Midoriya and them can do it. And we didn't see off screen. You remember when they actually released all of them? He could have turned back to his form, like his little weak form for a little while before he was like, young Midoriya, now's the time to smile. And then he like jumped up. Like, when they were actually doing the animation, it's crazy how much... I don't know if Toho animated this.
I didn't see Toho at the end of during the credits or anything. I tried looking for Toho.
I mean, I would think that it's like the same animators that are doing the really hype moments, but whoever the key animator was, like, it's crazy how much like attention they paid to detail. Because like, if you saw when All Might was running, like that was one jump. Like a lot of people probably won't see that because there was a lot going on. But like when All Might was running, he jumped over the metal at one point, and he was like gliding over the surface, and then came back down and was still running. And I was like, boy, like this man just jumped so far.
Yeah,
like,
and maybe it's being picky, but I feel like it took a minute for like the rest of the heroes or classmates to come upstairs and like help with the fight. I'm like, what did y'all think was going on? Like, where were y'all?
Wait, what do you mean?
Like it took until fucking let's see, because Todoroki and Bakugo and them came a little bit later.
They came later. Like, everyone came later. It was just Midoriya. It was just
But when did it happen when they came?
What do you mean? They were all part of the incident already when it was...
No, but not upstairs on the roof. They was not on the roof like, until later.
They took them a minute. Then they all came
Oh, yeah. I mean, they were fighting hella robots.
No, it was done. Like, it was already done. Like, everyone was released.
The robots wasn't even evil anymore because of Melissa. Remember
so I'm like,
Melissa?
What was everyone doing?
So they wasn't even fighting the robots
having a little party.
I'm like, maybe I'm being picky. Maybe
I mean,
being picky,
I mean, they did look really tired. Like, for example, like, the most... Like, I don't know if it was because of the way that his costume was ripped because of him using his powers, but, like, Todoroki looked hella exhausted. Yeah. Like, he was just using his ice and fire constantly. Like, bam, 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 bam. And, like, he wasn't even, like, using it, like, small. He was, like, going ham with, like, every ice blast. And, like, glaciers, yeah. Like, and I said, boy, you gotta be tired. Like,
this is where Titanic sank, right here. Glaciers.
Like, I'm just like, he used, like, his ice so much to save people. Like, it was ridiculous. Ice for the freaking exam for, like, the 14-second thing. Ice to save, you know, whoever. Like, he just saved so many people. Like, freezing the metal and stuff like that. But that was also a really funny, cool moment when they were like, we found you, students. And then, like, Midoriya was sitting in the bush like, damn, what do I say? And I was literally like, don't say anything. They're like, tricking you. And then they weren't actually tricking them. It was just, like, Kirishima and Bakugo walking out. He said, what the hell did you say to me?
That was so good.
And then Kirishima was like, chill. We're lost. And then... Bakugo was like, nah, look at all that.
Let's go.
Die!
Yes.
But back to the scene when All Might was fighting, because, like, he got stabbed, like, what, 20 times in that little ball?
Oh,
I don't think he got
What happened? What
stabbed.
is that?
So he was like, it was like a planetary devastation type thing from Naruto, where a bunch of, like, they use a bunch of objects to crush around him, and then they basically used a bunch of blunt objects to look like they sliced through him, but I'm pretty sure that they missed him, and then in the next second, like, Midoriya was like, break that shit up. So, like, I don't think he actually got stabbed. I think his muscle form, like, maybe you guys aren't giving enough credit to his muscle form and how much damage it can actually take. Because, like, maybe he was just, you know, maybe he was staying in the form for a really long time, but this is anime time. Like, all this could have happened in, like, 20 minutes. And we've known him to stay in, and he said, I can do a few hours a day in my muscle form. So, I know this fight wasn't an hour. They were moving too damn fast for that. They, like, and then if that was, like, you know, let's take into, like, a little bit of time comparisons. Like, if Deku cleared the little robot thing in, like, 15, 16 seconds or whatever, 16 seconds, then, like, imagine when he was moving faster than that in the whole fight. Like, that whole fight had to be, like, 2 minutes. Even though they were extending it to our eyes and be like, yeah, these niggas, they aren't Saiyans. They aren't going to be able to keep up with high-speed movements.
The Tournament of Power in DB Super, that, like, we know that only lasted how long? Like, an hour?
They have every episode is 1 minute off the fucking clock. Oh, my God.
That's crazy. So it's like that same concept, you know?
Exactly, because they're, like, moving at such a high super speed that, like, if they actually animated that way, we'd be like, was that Deku?
Yeah.
Like, was that All Might? I don't even know. Like, I don't even know what's going on. But freaking Melissa's character design, they need her and full gauntlet in the freaking regular anime. Like, Midoriya just needs to be popping people like that. I better be seeing him pop people like that in season 3,
And
boy.
she was smart. She wasn't just
That's
like
crazy.
cute and useless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she
She
still
was
said that
strong.
I still need to
Yeah.
study. I still got a lot.
The funny thing is, she was like, "Yeah, I want to be a hero," and then he's like, "A hero?" You're like, "Nah, I gave that up early." Like from like the other room, and it's like, "But I still want to be a scientist, though."
But then
Yeah.
it was crazy when they all agreed to fight, and Melissa's like, "Yeah, I go." And then fucking Midoriya was like, "You Quirkless." But you did the
Right,
same thing
right.
from episode 2, 3.
I understand
What?
his concern.
No.
Because,
Yeah,
like-
me too. 'cause
Yeah, but
he knows how dangerous it is.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's like, yeah, he would understand from a personal perspective, but are you really gonna let her come along on a
'Cause she
field
wanna
trip
be a
just
hero.
because she is quirkless and you feel for her? Like, nah, her safety is greater than that.
Yeah.
But it was cool though because she held her own, and I really would love to see more of her character for sure.
I did like her.
Yeah.
Speaking
But
of
imagine
science,
all
That
my
movie,
having.
bruh.
Imagine all my having the motherfucking headband.
The helmet, yeah. I was wondering if that would actually restore
Oh, yeah.
One for All.
But I don't
I mean,
think so.
I think One for All's embers, like the ember concept that they were explaining before, of like passing the torch, where you have like All Might's torch blazing, and then he lights Midoriya's stick, and then slowly his fire just dies out, and Midoriya's grows to like a raging fire. Like, I think that, you know, no matter what, because he didn't tell him, and that was actually another crazy thing that I really wanted to mention, is like the cycle of how things went. So, like, what I mean by that is, All Might was like, at the very beginning of the movie, I don't want to tell my friend about One for All because he's going to get caught up with villains that want One for All. But then because he didn't tell him, he tried to restore his powers and do this helmet thing. And then because of the helmet thing, the villains happened. And then because of that, All Might had to, like, fight. And which made him even weaker. So I'm just like, because you wanted to heal him, all this happened. Like, if All Might had just come forward and say, hey, I'm losing One for All, I passed this to this kid Midoriya, you know, he's the next symbol of peace, maybe he would have tried to work more on a concept to help Midoriya, rather than helping All Might get a power back that he's already losing indefinitely.
But you remember, they haven't talked to each other in a long time.
Well, he told him, he was like, I'm purposefully not telling him about One for
No,
All.
I'm talking about for Midoriya. For him to be like, yo, don't worry about me. Midoriya's going to be the next. But they haven't talked in a long time. It's been a while.
Well, they talked. He said that they email each other. Because remember when he
Yeah,
turned
he
into his
did.
regular form, he was like, oh,
He's
the
like, "You
email
it in the
said
email."
that
Right.
your symptoms were like this, but I didn't know it
I
got
feel
this
like
bad.
I feel like he said that because he was going to meet them. And I think that was just
Right.
a brief thing. But hindsight is 2020 though. Because he never knew that this was going to happen. He never knew that he was making this helmet for him. You know, hindsight is 2020.
Right.
So him not telling him he was trying to protect him, but he did not know that he was making this helmet for him like that.
So what was up with Sam, the assistant? He wanted to use the helmet to give to the villain?
No,
Yeah.
so he was basically like salty. Like, okay, so
Yeah, he was salty.
when they created the helmet,
Together.
he helped him, and probably a little, because David Shield is a genius, so he probably created that shit damn near by himself. And then, so, like, then the guy was like, you didn't even fight for it, but, like, what can you do when the government takes away your stuff? Like, if the government comes into our house right now and takes our stuff, what am I
What
going
are
to
you
do?
gonna do?
Fight them, and then I'm going to have a storyline where I'm like, Marissa, you could have done more. Just
Yeah.
fight them as they're taking our stuff out the door. Like, no, they'll shoot us on sight. You
Yeah.
saw the, like, for all we know, all the lower tier villains, they could have been like, let me tell you a little secret. We quirkless too, but we got these guns, though.
I don't,
Like-
know, I don't know why he was so
upset.
attached about it.
Yeah,
Maybe
I was just
because
like-
of money and greed, but like I don't know.
I feel like all the fat, bald anime characters are always greedy,
You know,
bruh.
and he
But
they always-
foreshadowed that his true nature when he was trying to convince. He was the one who tried to convince the professor
Yeah,
to do all that.
he the one who made up all the
Mhm.
plans. He the one who made
He
up
did.
all
Well, I
the
don't
He
get what he
convinced
wanted to
them.
do with it. Like, what was his goal?
No, his
Yeah.
goal. No. He wanted to get them. He said, since you didn't want to do anything, this motherfucking shit got
that's
taken
like
away,
the-
whatever. He wanted to he said,
He
at
wanted to
least
be
I'll get
used.
money for it.
Yeah.
So he did it for the
So
money.
he
at the
wanted
end of the
money.
day. He did it for the
Oh,
money.
that's when he was like asking for his reward. And he was like,
Yeah,
"Here's
that's
your
what it
reward."
was. He wanted the money.
That's kinda
at the end
lame.
Said,
of
I
the day.
got your reward,
They
this
got
bullet
one
right
expensive
here.
bullet.
Yeah.
Right.
Dumbass
Let me
nigga.
put this right.
Gullible ass, quirkless, don't know what it is out here in these streets.
Boy,
you
I
think
will
it's
say-
all dandy when you rich and shit. Think you can do anything. Oh, I'll give you 500 mil if you go help me steal this motherfucking shit.
And,
Nah, nigga, the fuck, I think I got blasted. Oh, well, nigga.
I will say one small problem that I had with the movie was like being like at the very end when I was like watching all the shit happen before my eyes, and then they said double Detroit smash, and then they came down and showed all my Amadorian punching the villain do it. I said he's dead.
Yeah.
He's dead. And then at the end he was and I was like, hell no. There ain't no way you alive, boy. You just ate like a full Detroit smash from 2 people.
Yeah.
So you dead.
You dead.
Like if a bullet
that
almost
doesn't really make sense.
boy, he dead as hell.
Why not?
Yeah.
Unless he got that Utsutsuki Uzumaki healing ability
Right.
from his random Naruto power-up
I
that
swear
he got.
he looked so much like him. I was like,
Yeah, this man was like planetary devastation every minute.
yeah.
And I said,
And I
what
would think
the...
that like All Might should have had more damage from like all the rocks like hitting him. If that guy had the helmet on, he's as powerful. As
I feel like
he
it's
was
like
supposed to
a,
be.
it's like a piercing thing. Like he has to be, All Might probably has to be pierced to be like really damaged. But they did a really good job of making you like, oh shit, they hurt All Might because
I was
like when they put him in their rocks and then they said and then they changed the background to red. Usually when they do that in anime, it's all over, boy.
That's when Baku, oh yeah, they came in when he was down, All Might.
Yeah.
Because he was holding the motherfucking metal wall. That's when Bakugo was like, "You just gonna let this weak ass villain?"
Oh,
And then the facial expression that he made, he was like, All
All
Might?
Might?
Oh, that was.
And then All
And
Might
then he
was
said,
like, "You
young,
right."
young
And he was
Bakugo.
like, "You right, my nigga."
And then like, you just swole back up. He's like, my student's doing this. I can't be
Hell
slacking.
yeah.
But like, he's
Yeah.
most definitely easily to be looked up to.
Yeah.
All Might easily, because doing all that stuff, like, damn, he's doing a lot.
Yeah.
He did a lot.
I love Bakugo in this. Like,
Yeah, I liked him a lot in this
Love
movie.
him.
A lot of his personality got to really
it came
shine.
through. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even like they had like a small Bay moment with Uraraka when we thought that she was about to get like waxed by the robot. I was like, there's no one to save her. I thought that they were still downstairs fighting. I was like, there's no one to save
I'm
her.
like, damn, Uraraka about to catch these. Uraraka about to punch.
Well, yeah. Also, when like she's about to get captured, I'm like, that doesn't technically negate your power. So I'm just like, they're like, well, first of all, Melissa's crazy, bruh. She was like, release your power and to get away.
What the fuck?
If you release the power, we're gonna fall to oblivion, bro. You're dead. Like,
I'm so dead at this comment.
Midnight has no butt.
They agreed
Oh,
with
that's-
me because
that's
whenever I
you,
said
yeah.
that Midnight has no butt. Yeah,
That's
someone
actually
agreed with
funny.
me. That's hilarious. But anyways, but yeah, we got to see a
She
lot
doesn't.
more of some like thank you, of some characters I guess that we overlooked before. Like Kirishima, we like Kirishima, but like
I feel like
he's not really like
I liked
involved
him a
much,
lot.
but he was
Yeah.
involved a lot in this movie, and same with Headphone Jack.
Yeah.
Jiro, yeah.
that's the
Yeah,
one.
she's definitely overlooked, but like we said earlier, it was really cool to see her step up to the plate, and she was the reason that they were able to communicate with all
even
Might,
Momo.
too. Mhm.
Even Momo, we don't get a lot from Momo
yeah, and she got
usually.
exhausted.
Which is
That was
weird that
interesting.
I mean, I feel like it's weird that they use like Kaminari and Mineta, but not like the whole class. Because they only had a few more characters to go to just use the whole class. They could have had Dark
Yeah.
Shadow. I feel like they were afraid to use Dark Shadow at night and like,
Bro, he
You
would
like-
take over, bro.
yeah.
He would have
maybe.
taken over.
They didn't pick the characters. I guess didn't fit the plot the best. Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You had to think about it.
I mean, they had Acid Girl. She could have done something against the robot. I mean, honestly, the
picked
more of
good
them that they
characters. I
had,
think they did a good job with who they.
Yeah.
they did.
decided
But
to.
I just wish that they would have showcased all of class
I'm
there.
surprised they didn't have Froppy there. Like
She wasn't even there at all.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm surprised
she's
they
one of the
didn't
most.
have
No,
her.
Froppy was there doing the the sleepover.
Yeah, of
Oh,
course.
she
But they
was,
were-
you're right.
The trip, the actual whole trip. I'm surprised she wasn't there, included in it.
No, she's in the Marines. Yeah.
Well, they were
Oh,
saying that they
whatever.
all had special reasons that they were invited,
Yeah.
which was kind of
Yeah.
funny when they were explaining that.
I
Because
was like, this
Midoriya
is
was
so-
like,
oh my
yeah,
God.
don't tell them that I came with All Might. And then Baku was like, yeah, I'm here because I won the sports festival.
Yeah.
And then Kirishima's like, yeah, I just tagged
I
along.
just came with
Todoroki's
them.
like, I'm here for my dad. Momo's
That's
like,
what
I'm here
I
because
like
my
that.
family's rich as hell.
It's
Yeah, I
weird.
know.
It's weird
So-
because they had hotels room with each other and stuff.
Yeah.
That was so dope.
But like, I was kind of confused about the party. Like, she just had specific tickets for certain people. I'm like, this is some rich ass shit.
Who?
Like the Melissa party.
Oh no, she just got them tickets. She just got Kaminari and
No,
Does
so
she
it's
have
not.
extra-
It wasn't
didn't
her
she have
party.
extra one?
or
No, it
whatever?
wasn't her
I think it was
party.
but she did
no,
have
no,
extra
she
tickets.
they literally it was a thing
Just
like
a thing. Okay, I got you.
and I think the thing that he was designing was that helmet.
Yeah.
That they were gonna showcase or whatever. Because they were saying that David Shield finished designing something that's really cool, and that's why they were gonna have the banquet dinner to like kind of celebrate that and talk about it. But also like the whole man-made island thing, that was kind of weird to like think about the fact that they were all on an island. Like
Yeah.
all that was like off the
I like
mainland.
that.
I also
Okay,
like
all that this year.
the small emotional moment that they had where they were talking about it was David Shield and just All Might talking, and he was just like, you put crime down to like lower than
Oh, yeah,
6% in Japan, and I wish you were here in America, because in other countries like crime is like 20% or higher, and so that's like crazy because now we learned that like when he was in the past he was in America, which is cool.
And that makes sense why his fucking uniform is red.
Yeah,
Red, white, and black. Red, white, and blue.
his
Yeah.
golden age costume.
But I love that he's like the whatever age and the silver age and then the
Bronze
golden
age, yeah,
That
silver
shit-
age.
Yeah,
That
that
shit
was
lit.
crazy.
That shit lit.
And it was the same guy designing all the suits.
Mhm.
I was like, that was
Iron
cool.
Man was mad.
That was a really cool Easter egg, I guess you would say, to just know who designs like his
Yeah.
suits and stuff like that.
That was dope.
The next Hatsume,
Yeah.
but it's weird that
They
they
almost
had like
a bromance.
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
I like want to see like Melissa a lot more like in the main anime, but I feel like they're not going to do that.
And Professor, I liked him.
Mm-hmm.
I love his design. Like the old.
I like his old
Yeah.
with the bang,
Mhm.
and then they were driving like the red car that was like also a submarine but also a plane. I was like, what the got hella technology.
No, the
That's-
professor is most definitely Tails from Sonic
Tails
Adventure.
from-
I feel
yeah.
like he Tails there with the whole vehicle and
That's
everything.
fair. They just had like hella technology. Like even when
Yeah.
they introduced Melissa, she was like pogo stick,
Katana
pogo stick,
always
pogo
had-
stick,
yeah.
and then she like put
No,
away
she
the
put
pogo
that
stick
shit
and put it in her
away.
pocket.
That
I
was
said,
so
No,
cool.
the way
Yeah.
she put it
was
away
like-
was like a tape
Yeah.
measure.
yeah, I was
You know
like,
how you
what?
like a tape measure, it goes back in. That's
that
what
was
it
really
That shit
cool.
disappeared. I don't care what nobody said. That shit went into thin air. Like,
That was
I mean,
really cool.
Like I just literally
Bruh,
need her
that
to make
shit
more
poofed.
full. I just want to see like a full suit, like full gauntlet that she could create for Midoriya.
He would look like Iron Man.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't
Yeah.
want him to use the gauntlet, whatever. I mean, it's fine if they do.
I think it's fine
because
until
I
he
don't want
learns
them to
how.
cheat their way out of
Yeah.
like, now you can use whatever. No, I don't know.
It would be like a Boruto
I
situation.
don't want that. I want him to
Nah.
get that shit, bro. Work that shit. Grind, my nigga.
Yeah.
You already got the motherfucking power handed to you. Now you want gauntlet? You ain't gonna. No. It's not that easy, my boy.
No, I understand that feeling though, but it is cool for enhancement to protect him for the time being.
Yeah, for the time
Or,
being.
or to like train or anything like that.
But I just don't want him to fucking use it all
like
the
a
time
cripple.
or rely on it.
Yeah.
I don't want him to rely on
Or
it.
like even if when he gets to full power, maybe that could be something that helps him prolong his endurance or something, or like his ability to sustain injuries or whatever it might be. You know?
yeah.
Because like my
Yeah.
boy didn't get no F's. Like, I'm doing everything with this gauntlet.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
I mean, he did use like his regular amount of power for most things,
Mm.
and then he used his big Detroit smashes
Yeah.
when he had to, which is something that he could have used like willy nilly, but then it would have broke. So it's kind of just like a situation where he's not using it all the time, and I kind of like that. Like he's using 5% here, 30% here.
Mm-hmm.
He used one 30% smash, and then he used 3 Detroit smashes. When he used like the double Detroit, when he was holding Melissa, and then when he was like going after the guy, punching him. But that was definitely crazy. Like I hope that they expand more upon like the helmet, David's shield, and
That
then
shit got busted,
Melissa's
didn't it?
shield. Yeah, the helmet was just like insane. Like
Yeah.
I was like, how does one
Yeah,
even
that
go
was
How does
about
that
creating
work?
that?
That's
That's
crazy.
crazy.
That's how does that work?
I also like how they put in like the small kind of thing of like I don't know if you guys noticed, but like Bakugo, when he was firing his explosions near the end of the movie, his arms were like cracking because he was reaching his limit, and I feel like Bakugo hurts himself when he uses his explosions too much, so his arms were like
Mm-hmm.
and Todoroki was kind of getting to his limit too. They had pretty much everyone at their limit at the end. Todoroki was like looking tired as F. Like
Yeah.
it was crazy.
Momo was bleeding.
And then he was like, yeah, he would like had like frost all on one side, and his other side was like the
I know.
clothing was burned off. And I was just like, yeah, Mineta was hella bleeding
Hella
from the
bleeding
scalp.
from the
He said
scalp.
my scalp's at his limit. I said, dang.
That's disgusting.
Boy, just
kind of weird.
That
I
was
feel
kinda-
the pain.
It makes
too.
me
It's
off.
like weird.
It puts me off. I'm like, ugh.
That his scalp bleeds.
Yeah.
Like every time he rips it, I feel like
He's
he's ripping
ripping it out of
flesh
his-
and
yeah, out
blood
of
is
his
coming
head.
down. It's so ooh.
I don't know. I don't view it that way, but I just like, after a while, his scalp just starts to bleed.
Oh, yeah.
But then I feel like he did it because, like, you know, low key when you get perverted or whatever, they do the nosebleed. I feel like that's Mineta nosebleed.
It's funny. That could be.
It's like, eee,
That's a
you
good
horny
ass
bastard.
movie.
Yeah, I know. That movie was lit.
That was
I
amazing.
hope to see it again.
Hell yeah.
Somebody, please rip it, HD. Put it on the
ASAP.
internet. I'll be watching it. I promise. But yeah, I'm definitely really hyped for whatever they can come up with next. Like, the movie idea was insane. I heard that like over the weekend it reached like number 3 or number 2 box office or something like that.
Wow.
And as an anime movie that's out for a week, that's insane. Like,
Mhm.
even the theater that we went to on the very last day, which is technically when the least people should be there, it was sold out. Like, completely sold out. They were not willing to, like, let us buy any more tickets, and we were there, like, kind of early-ish, like 10 minutes early. And so, like, literally, like, our theater was packed out. There was people there, like, cosplaying.
People
and it
in
really...
our seats.
Right, exactly.
That was
like,
so funny.
we showed up, and there was a guy in our seat that was just like, damn, and then
He was
moved.
like,
Shit.
Yeah, he didn't
Uh.
say a thing. He just, like, got up really quick and moved. And I was like, I guess that's my seat.
But yeah, it really just like gives a real good indication of how My Hero Academia is actually doing in America, and how it's
It's
highly
great.
desired as like one of like the best animes now, and also as a culture, just how anime is
Yeah.
becoming like greater.
People were so
Um,
into it. The audience was cheering and
Right.
screaming.
And I feel like it makes sense
really
for My
good.
Hero to be the anime that's taking off in this day and age in America, just because
Yeah.
America loves heroes. They love
Mm.
heroes, and that's more relatable than a story about ninjas, a story about avatars, a story about Saiyans. Like, people love
Mhm.
Goku, don't get me wrong, because he's one of the goats of all
Right.
anime for anybody.
They're like screaming.
But for like modern day, it makes sense that this would be the anime to really break through to the American audience, because even All Might's supposed to be American. He's very parallel to like a Captain America type figure, you know, except way stronger,
think
like
it's
freaking
still
Superman.
cool.
He's like Captain America and Superman.
Yeah, and that's very relatable for
Yeah.
Americans, because Americans love
And he
that
names their
stuff.
cities. Everyone loves to like rep their cities. Like, oh, Detroit.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I also was just like really like into the
That's
the
nice.
crowd moment where All Might appeared, and he has like that line that he always says where he's like Nazate Watashi wa kita, which is basically like, don't worry, now I'm here.
Mhm.
And
I
like
love
everybody in
that.
the theater
Yeah.
just said at the same time, and that
Yeah.
was like insane. That was really
Yeah.
cool.
That makes
That was
sense
good.
why he named his smashes off of United States.
United
That
States.
he was
yeah.
there. I didn't know that.
I'm gonna need an Atlanta smash.
Not
Not that we
Georgia
live
smash.
here or anything, but
You said
But-
Texas smash, homeboy.
Yeah, Carolina
your
smash.
boyfriend.
Carolina.
Well,
Oh,
they
yeah.
they,
Oh my
they
God.
all do
Hey.
something different, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Like, because I wonder how if he named them based off the different states. Like, he Texas Smash, which is basically just like what he used in the very first episode. Like, he punches and it creates like a really big wind gust. So he was trying to like use the air to like, which honestly I thought Midori was gonna do that when he was trying to like determine how he's gonna get himself out of the air. I thought he was about to like punch downwards with
Yeah,
full
he said,
power.
think,
And
think,
just,
I gotta do something.
Right.
Yeah.
and then Todoroki ended up saving him. But then he used like Carolina Smash, which is like a chop type thing. Detroit Smash is just a regular punch. We know that Delaware Smash from Deku is like the flick, where he used that. I don't know if we've seen any other like
What
states
else
or
is there?
cities.
I haven't seen no kicks or anything.
I was surprised with Carolina.
Yeah, that one kick,
Yeah.
like we didn't even see it land, but like that was insane. Like the animation, Deku was like, yeah. I said, what the hell? I said, how fast did you just go from like 1 second to 1 second? Like that was insane. That
Did we
kick.
see Ida in the rest of it really after his like?
We
run?
saw him like be like, everyone okay?
Yeah, once his engine stalled, he just showed later. And was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
okay, that's what's up.
Oh, one moment that really inspired me on a personal level is when, I think it was after Midoriya, like, fell, and he was like, think, and we know for Midoriya in that moment when he was falling, he was like, think, you got this, you can do something, think. That was kind of a tough moment because he kind of, like, gave up internally once he realized he can't get to the helicopter, and he was, like, screaming at
He
the
was
top
so
of his lungs because he was
mad,
pissed. And
He was
that
like,
was
brain
crazy
blast.
because he always thinks of something. He's
He
very
does.
calculative in the situation. But when All Might came in, he was like, "Young
No worry,
Midoriya,
young
this is
Midoriya."
he said this is a
The
time to smile." I was like,
Oh yeah,
that's so inspirational because like, how do you smile?
I
in
mean,
that
honestly,
situation,
Deku was
you know?
really crazy in that situation.
He
Like,
was.
I would just jump up to the helicopter. I said, "My boy, you cannot fly."
He was
How
almost
are
like
you about to get
desperate.
down?
He
Right.
was almost
That's what
desperate.
it
And when he
Yeah.
fell down, I thought something was about to happen because of the way that where they were portraying that. But then he just hit the ground and he wasn't really injured. So I was like, "What?"
But I
I was
think
like,
it was
yeah.
more just like an internal trauma that they were trying to highlight because he was just so like, couldn't do anything. What could I do? You know.
And the villain was really trying to like mind fuck him because
Yeah.
he was like, "Yeah, you're trying to save a criminal,
Yeah.
a criminal that like has done the
Mhm.
same things as me. Like you're the same as us if you try to save him."
Yeah.
Like,
and I love that they still tried to save him. They're like, okay, yeah, you fucked up, but we're still gonna come look out for you.
Yeah.
We're gonna do everything we can to come save you. So I fucked with that. I like that. It's like a customer.
dead. But anyways, guys, video is like super long, like an hour, something like that. But
Yeah, sorry about
um,
that.
But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the discussion. Definitely super, super hype. If you guys were one of the people that we met after, I know I talked to like a lot of people after that were in the theaters doing like the cool cosplays and stuff like that. I'll post their pictures somewhere when we're talking about them during this. But they were really cool, so definitely enjoyed like meeting all the people there, going to the movie, and enjoying all the cool stuff. I hope you guys got to see the movie in your respective states or countries as well. I know it hit different countries at different times, so maybe it hasn't reached your country yet. I don't know the schedule for other countries. But yeah, that has been the video. If you guys liked the video, be sure to leave a like on the video. And we can do more videos like this in the future. Like, you know, just let us know what you kind of like or prefer. Even though there won't be like other My Hero movies, like we'll be reacting to other stuff. I'm sure they have movies, so eventually. So just let us know. Definitely hit the subscribe button down below. Click the bell button so that you don't miss a video. And then with that being said, this has been Josh, Bria, Marissa, and Randrell from Let's Plays Animates, and we'll see you guys on the next video.
Bye,
Peace, guys.